Well, welcome to the next episode of our podcast, Indiana is Ag+Bio+Science. It's presented by AgriNovus Indiana and Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick, the host of Inside Indiana Business, also the host of this weekly podcast where we have in-depth conversations with the leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs in Indiana's Ag+Bio+Science sector, that sector where food, agriculture, science, and technology converge. This week, excited to sit down with Daniel Padrão. He is the COO Global of Solinftec. Daniel, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, first of all, Daniel, give us a little background on you, how you got to this position, your background in agriculture, and kind of where it all started.
Yeah, so I'm an agronomist. I started working with Solinftec for almost 10 years ago. Funny thing, first as a client, so I was looking for a solution to help us to increase the efficiency in the company, in the farm that I used to work. And I got in contact with Solinftec. We working together for a while, developing the solution, implementing the solution. And I now have 5 years working with them. I thought that why not to do that professionally. Moved to Solinftec. So first with sugarcane, then row crops, and when we decided to start looking for the U.S., looking for the opportunity and looking for how we could add value for farmers in the U.S., I start traveling back and forth Brazil to U.S. Many times, lying to my wife. I was living in Brazil, but actually I was living here. And then when we decided to open our office here inside of Purdue campus, so I came to start the operation and start operating here.
Well, we'll talk about that major investment in headquarters operation at the Purdue Research Park in West Lafayette. But first of all, Solinftec. Tell us a little bit about the company, its formation, its technology platforms, but also begin by telling us what that word means, Solinftec.
So that is hard to explain. Solinftec means sol from solution, inf for information, and tech from technology. But actually the problem, the thing is, it's a name created by engineers. So at Solinftec we haven't spent so much time in marketing. So probably they decided before I joined the company. Probably they decided in 5 minutes before. And just jump to another solution. So
That's good. That's good. Well, tell us about the company and the technology platforms.
So what we do is it's a platform that the idea is to increase the efficiency for farmers, like in the way they use machines, in the way they use fertilizer, chemicals. So trying to make farmers do more with less. So that is the idea. To do that, we have it's an IoT platform. We collect data, we gather data from from sensors, from weather, from machine, from people. We join all of that. We analyze that with data science, new technologies, and we support farmers in real time to help them to make decisions when they need it, when they are running the operation. So the idea is to change. If something is going wrong, or if we can make something more efficient, we change during the operation instead of just showing reports, showing maps. So the idea is to how can we make farmers more efficient at that way instead of looking for the information to the next year. So agriculture, it's a different business. Every year is different to the other. So I think that we need to act at that moment.
Solinftec is a leader in ag IoT innovation in Brazil, concentrating on the sugarcane industry. When did you realize there was opportunity to translate the technology to a more Midwestern U.S. ag sector, to crops like corn, soybeans, and wheat?
So farmers are farmers everywhere. So we started with sugarcane in Brazil. After some years working with sugarcane, so we have a huge penetration in Brazil. We have 70% of the whole sugarcane area in Brazil. And then we start looking for row crops in Brazil. We did it. We did the go-to-market was pretty successful. And after that, someone asked you about the U.S. market. So we went to Florida, talking with some sugarcane mills in Florida. That was our first client, our main market. After 2 meetings there, the solutions were very well accepted, and then we asked, hey, why not? And everybody started talking, hey, Florida, we understand, it's sugarcane, but Midwest is different. Yeah. Then we decided to accept the challenge and come to the Midwest to see, and we travel a lot of times here to really understand how we could add value. And we understood that the solution, the backbone of the solution could work pretty well here. And then we came and started developing here. So that was the history about coming to the Midwest.
Well, it was about a year ago that Solinftec announced plans to expand operations to the U.S., a new headquarters at the Purdue Research Park in West Lafayette, major investment, the potential for several hundred jobs as well. Talk about that decision, why West Lafayette and Purdue and the state of Indiana were so attractive to locate this operation.
So everything started in a dinner in San Francisco where Tom Kipton from Tom Farms nearby. So introduced us to Beth. And Beth introduced us to Purdue. We had some meetings in Purdue, and after those meetings, we were totally sure that Purdue was the right place to come. Since the beginning of the company, we truly believe that to develop solution for farmers, to develop solution that will change the way we produce food, you need to stay close to who is doing that. Wake up every day looking for who is really running the operation, do their tasks every day. So Purdue, with his huge history with engineering and agriculture. So the government in Indiana was so supportive of us and has been so supportive of us. And stay close to farmers. That was why we decided to come to Indiana, Purdue, and all of that.
The Wabash Heartland Innovation Network, I think it's a 10-county region in the Lafayette area. That region has a real focus on IoT and precision agriculture. Mm-hmm. Does that play into what you do? Is that a benefit?
For sure. It was when I say supportive and when I say the environment and the network, I'm saying about them. So we have some farmers. We are running many projects with Win, and Johnny has been so supportive as well, helping us. And we have been talking with them and working with those farmers and working with Win to fine-tuning the solution to the farmers here in U.S. So yeah.
As you look at technology, ag technologies and innovation coming out of Indiana and Brazil, is there more that Indiana can be working on to continue to distinguish itself when it comes to ag innovation?
I think Indiana, it's for sure, it's one of the most important places for ag. Mm-hmm. So because of the importance in the ag and the economy, and even because of Purdue. So I think when we think globally, it's a place to be. It's a place that most of the things happen. So
as you look at these top 10 or top 50 national or global AgTech lists, we see Solinftec on there. A lot of people are looking at what you're doing and looking for that next success. What's next as you look on the horizon? What's next for Solinftec?
The idea about coming to the U.S. was globalize the company, to make this company global. And we do think that to really make this company global, we need to be here in the U.S. When we look for the last great or big innovations that we had in agriculture, it started here in U.S. and the U.S. was really the believer, the ones that make it happen. So I think the next step for us is to grow and to have the penetration and have the trust of the farmers here in U.S., the same trust from farmers that we have in Brazil, and then move to have the same trust globally. So that is our two main steps.
As you look at the role that AgriNovus is playing in supporting the Agbiosciences, what Purdue is doing, we talked about the Wabash Heartland Innovation Network. What do you see as the potential specifically for Indiana as a state to grow in the ag bioscience space? What do you see as that potential?
We don't see in so many places in the world, and we have been working in some countries. I structure also an organization that supports entrepreneurship as we see here in Indiana. So AgriNovus, WIN, Purdue, so the government in Indiana. So there's all those support that entrepreneurs and so many agriculture companies can have here. It's amazing. It makes totally like it changes everything for who is starting, who is looking for how to develop their business. So it's amazing.
Well, Daniel Padrão is the COO Global of Solinftec. Daniel, thanks for being welcome to Indiana as well.
Very much.
Great to have you on the podcast, and we look forward to covering the successes at the company going forward. Thanks for being on the podcast this week. Also, thank you for joining us this week on the Ag+Bio+Science podcast. It is a weekly production partnership between AgriNovus Indiana and Inside Indiana Business. And a reminder, you can keep up to date with AgriNovus by following them on Twitter and Instagram at AgriNovusIN. Also finding them on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts so we can share Ag Bioscience stories like this one with more and more people. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm Gerry Dick. We'll see you next time.
This podcast is a product of Inside Indiana Business, hosted by Gerry Dick, produced by Libby Fritz and Joe Ullery, and was recorded on location at Launch Fishers. More people get Indiana business news from Inside Indiana Business than any other source.